Whoa! Welcome to a new vlog. I hope you can all hear me and that you're all doing great. So I finally arrived in Shanghai. It's been one of my top destinations ever since I wanted to go to China. I wanted to go Shanghai, and I never thought in my whole life I would ever go to Shanghai, but here we are. On the Bund, overviewing the central of Shanghai behind me with the big ass tower, and then we have skyscrapers all around me, so I'll show you around. It's so cool. It's pretty amazing. This is how the future looks like if you want to know Europe. Now you see a few banks, and then there's a big ass tower behind me. Yeah, it's fucking cool, man. So I arrived a bit earlier during the day, and I wasn't as impressed, but now with all the lights everywhere, it's wow, it's so huge. Like I thought, wait, it's really empty, but no. When night comes and all the lights are on, it looks pretty fucking cool. So yeah, this for me is really the most modern city that I have been in China. So I'm really surprised actually. It's very advanced, I think. It's yeah, man. I think this city really represents modern China for me. Like if every city in China strives to be like this one, and I mean they're building everywhere, so they're going somewhere, right? I can't wait. I can't wait to see how China will look like in like 10-20 years when they have modernized the whole country, right? Because it's still a developing country according to the WTO. So, and I mean, like if you're in Shanghai, of course it's like even more developed, like the biggest cities in Europe. But like of course other parts of China is not as developed as here, and that's why I think they want to keep the developing country status as long as they can. Yeah, and it's gonna take a while before all of China is gonna look like this, of course. But I mean, I'm so excited. Yeah, I never imagined that with a communist you could build something like this. I mean, this is built on the backbone of communism, right? Yeah, so of course it's a modern communism with like a bit of capitalism involved. But yeah, it's state supported, so like most of the buildings behind me, I mean it's focusing pretty bad, but they're sponsored by the state. Yeah, you can imagine, right? There's like Bank of China, and yeah, there's mostly banks actually. When you look at like the big skyscrapers, it's mostly banks and maybe a hotel or two. Yeah. So that, man, it's pretty fucking cool, man. Yeah. So I think it's really cool that there's a viable, rivalizing, like economic system that works, and I think that in Europe we should take a look at what works in China, because of course they have a lot of things that work for them. I mean, we usually just look at the negative sides, but yeah, there are things that work here, and we should try and learn more about it, and maybe be able to implement some of what is working here in Europe. Yeah, so actually about this, I had a really like strange idea, because I thought, well, why do Chinese state control their people so much in every aspect? And I'm just like, what? They don't trust their people, or what? I mean, and then I got this idea. Oh, can you focus? Okay, so I got this idea that maybe, you know, if imagine that China is like my body, okay? So if I just don't control my body and I just let it do whatever it wants, basically, I think that I'm gonna become an animal, right? So it's because I can control my body, I'm more than an animal, and I can do more complex things like thinking and philosophing and everything. And maybe it's the same thing with the country. So they have to control the population, because you have to remember that the Chinese people are not the same as European people in terms of like history and education and everything. So maybe it's a way for the Chinese state to allow the people to be more evolved by controlling them. It's a really easy way to look at it, and I'm not sure it's the truth, but I mean, I think it's a pretty good way to look at it. Yeah, I mean, you control your thought and your impulses, and the state here does it for you, so you don't really have to do it. You can just live and have a thought-free life, basically. And I mean, sure, there are probably downsides. I mean, I don't live like a regular Chinese here because I'm a foreigner. And yeah, I mean, that's really cool about Shanghai. Also, I think there's really a lot of foreigners. Like, I arrived at my hostel, and there was like 50 foreigners, like in the lobby, and I was like, it was more foreigners than I've seen in my entire 1 month in China. And I just come to the hostel, and I'm just like, whoa, what is happening in Shanghai? Why is everyone going here? And yeah, I mean, I can see why. Like, it's really modern China here. I think it's really cool. Yeah. So before this, I was in 2 villages that are like one half an hour by train and 1 hour by train, and they're called Nanxun and Wuhanyu. I'm not sure. That's probably not the one. At least Nanxun, I know it's the right one. And their river towns, they were really nice. But the problem was, I was like, you're supposed to do it one way, and obviously I did it the other way, and there was no bus the other way. So I had to walk between both the villages. It was like 22 kilometers, and I had my big ass backpack, like a 15 kilo backpack, and yeah, it was like a 5-hour walk. And that and when I arrived, the bed was like two blankets on the bed, and then it was like wood planks. So it was really hard night. Like when I woke up in the morning, like my back was hurting like a bitch. Yeah, that was pretty. And I mean, I still now it's fine, but I don't know if it's good for you to sleep on a hard bed, but I mean, maybe it's a thing. Yeah, so I really recommend visiting those river towns. They were really pretty. Yeah, it reminded me a bit of Holland, because yeah, I was there last summer, and yeah, it was some towns with the rivers all everywhere, and it was the same thing, but less modern. It was the same thing maybe 100 years ago. Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna be in Shanghai for a week, so I'll probably do maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. I'll see what's going on here, and I'll probably do more vlogs here. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this vlog. Bye bye.